And we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Purdue White versus SEMO Ruby. My name is Elliot.
My name is Viper.
And we will be your casters tonight. At the moment, we're just waiting for the lobby to get set up, and then we'll get right into things. Last week, we attempted to cast a match for Sigma. Was that? Was it for
Yeah,
Sigma
it was
or for White?
Sigma.
Okay, for Purdue Sigma, and that match ended up getting either forfeited or the other team just didn't even know what was happening. But for whatever reason, the match got canceled. I ended up casting another match on Friday, the day afterwards, with Kinin, and now we are back to regularly scheduled Purdue White matches. Viper, do you know how many matches the team has left in the preseason? I know that the league that Sigma's playing in ended their last match last week. I don't remember if that was NECC or ECAC.
ECC. I think this is their last night.
Okay.
Or last week.
So this is the last week before playoffs. And then depending on how well our teams are doing, they will be playing for their matches. So we'll see how many more games end up coming through, but we're having fun nonetheless. This week's game is against SEMO Ruby. SEMO is shorthand for Southeast Missouri State University. Okay, this is gonna sound dumb. Is Missouri in the South or in the Midwest?
It's in the South.
Okay.
Let me look at a U.S. map, but I want to say it's right next to Louisiana.
Okay, I believe you. For some reason in my head, I thought it was right next to Minnesota, but I also felt like that was wrong. My dad's gonna send me a text later, and he's gonna be
Wait,
like,
no,
"Why
it is
do
in
you
the
not?"
Midwest.
It is in the Midwest.
It
Okay,
is in the Midwest. I was thinking Mississippi.
Okay, Dad.
It's right near Kansas and
Dad,
Illinois.
you are allowed to be proud of me. Okay, I am in his defense though. It's not actually touching Missouri, so I'm not. It's kind of in the middle of the U.S. to be honest with you. So I feel like we're both half right. We can call it.
Well, because I was thinking, yeah, it's right next to Louisiana near Texas, but no, that's Mississippi.
And Missouri is.
It's between it's Kansas, Iowa. So to the left is Kansas, Iowa, Illinois to the right, and I always say it wrong because of the freaking meme. I always say Arkansas is Arkansas, but like it's because of that one time.
Arkansas. I didn't know it came from a Vine. I had heard the meme before it, but no, that's what say. Fine stuff. So yeah, so playing against SEMO Ruby. We have of course LTW, Amity, Mercy Gamer Girl, Llama Heist. Llama Heist a sub for Whites? I don't recognize the name.
No, I swear Llama Heist is typically a player for them. Wait.
Really?
I don't know. Wait, it's been a minute.
I don't think. Oh man, it's been a while. Poor Purdue White, we haven't casted you in.
Oh so no, it's 12 because it's typically.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say. I thought I feel like there's someone important here that we're missing.
Yeah, wait. I was like, wait, Llama Heist. That doesn't sound correct.
Maybe Llama Heist is subbing in for Squelks this game. Although it looks like Llama Heist plays Ilari, not Anna, but plays a good amount of Ilari.
Llama Heist actually Squelks, and we just don't.
No, I doubt it because
no, Llama Heist is someone different. Yeah,
I think it is someone different because they don't have like any hours on this account. So and if this was Squelks, we would only be seeing Ilari.
No,
there would be no Kiriko, no Life Waver. What are we talking about? So.
Wow, Squelks is gonna be watching this and be like, "You forgot about me."
No, we didn't forget about. We remembered. It just took us a second. It's been a little while.
They're on purple team typically.
The Llama Heist is?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe they're coming to sub in because folks is gone or something. It'd be good if we had some info on what was going on with our team before we started casting them, but unfortunately we go in blind every time. On the other team we've got looks like Not Russ on tank, Tortoise, and Dizzy 99. I'm probably just gonna say Dizzy when I'm making callouts because that's a really long name.
Yeah.
Dizzy on DPS, Ari, and then Dilfit. Hey, we've got a support named Dill on the other team too. 2 Dills.
Oh, okay, let's go.
A Torbjorn.
So we'll have to refer to Dill as Mercy Gamer Girl this time.
Yeah.
Or just Mercy Gamer Girl is such a mouthful.
I was gonna say that maybe we could refer to the enemy support as Fizz, but the problem is they've also got Dizzy Zizzy, and that I feel like that's a lot of Z's to have 2 different names. And how could we forget about Odakur? That's who the last player was. Oh,
so
yes.
From Dill on the enemy team, it looks like we have a lot of Lucio, Wu Yang, and Brigitte. And then from Ari, these are our supports. Your team, Anna and Juno, Wu Yang and Kiriko.
Okay.
And then from Dizzy, what are we seeing? Sojourn, Venture, Tracer, Widow.
Artist is Reaper, Ash, Widow, Sojourn. A lot of hit scans on both for both those DPS. And then their tank, Not Russ, primarily plays Malga Recognition. Spread. Obviously, LTW prefers to play on the hazards, so I feel like hazard's pretty decent into this setup.
Yeah. Tortoise likes to play Reaper, so we're maybe gonna get a rival Reaper from. We can get Odakur's computer or Overwatch to want to work. We do have a map pick of Samoa from Purdue though, which is exciting.
Gotta love Samoa. It is not. It's not my favorite of the maps that Overwatch has created recently, but it is one of the most pretty. I really like the look of it. I feel like I like it slightly better than Antarctica, and that's probably the only map that I like it.
Antarctica, I don't like Antarctica.
Yeah, Antarctica, I don't know. Especially the point that's inside, it just feels really bad to play too. I feel like it's got a lot of routes that I don't really know how to play well. So
it's fun. I know that my partner has fun playing Tracer on that map.
On Antarctica?
I don't. Yeah, I don't touch Tracer if rarely ever, but I'm glad that it's fun.
Like we've got some technical difficulties happening with Odacore.
I'm curious about their student population. How many undergrads?
SEMO, undergraduate.
Wow.
Seeing 8,000 undergraduate students enrolled each year.
I'm seeing 7,000.
7,000, 8,000. So
yeah, around 7,600.
Around what is that? Around 5 times smaller than Purdue's campus.
Yeah.
But they do have multiple teams, considering this team is named Ruby specifically, so. Can't be that small.
I wonder how many teams.
How many?
Are we gonna see if they have an esports page? Let's see if they have an esports page. They do have an esports page.
I love how the start of every one of our castings is just us stalking the enemy team. and trying to find
I
out
love
all
it
this
though.
random info. I think it's great. I think it's funny. We do see a tracer
Actually,
ban from Purdue. Go ahead, Pepper.
they only have one team.
They do?
Yep.
Oh. Why don't they name it Ruby then?
School color,
SEMO.
maybe?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
To strike fear into the hearts of the teams they play against. Like, this school has so many teams, they have to name them.
Yeah. If we get any more teams on Purdue, we're gonna run out of colors.
Well, we already have. I mean, we do have Purdue Sigma, which I have never heard of a color named Sigma.
Sigma is a color.
Sigma is a color?
Sigma is a color.
What? I don't believe you.
It's like a blue. Like,
that's called navy blue. That is not anything other than Sigma? That's crazy.
Do you spell color with a U?
Do I sound British to you?
No, but I do.
Are you British?
No.
Then why would you spell color with a U? That's
just
objectively incorrect.
I was always taught that it has a U.
Are your parents British?
No.
I'm concerned.
It could be the Canadian, like, side, because that's how it's spelled in Canada. So it could be that. I grew up like I grew up closer to Canada.
Okay, it seems like the consensus is that you're crazy and U is not in color, other than the few players that think it's funny to spell with an E. We do have a Kiriko ban from SEMO. I'm not sure if we mentioned that. Sorry, we are deviating from the gameplay at the moment. All right, we're seeing Mercy Gamer Girl on. Never mind. Hold on for a moment. Why don't we restart? Uh-oh. Do we not have Otaku anymore?
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
No.
You know, Viper, you might have to sub in for them. Oh no, he's back.
No.
It's back.
I can't play. I mean, I can play DPS, but I can't play DPS. I feel like your rank is a little closer to this team than mine is.
What's the rank of our team?
Of their team?
Yeah, I'm pretty close in line with them, but I'm not sure that that they'd want a non-Purdue student playing. Uh-oh.
I don't think they want the low gold team member.
I could make a mean joke about Otakura, but I'm not going to.
I wonder if the Overwatch servers are just having an interesting time right now.
Yeah, I could believe it. I was playing it a little bit before the match started, and they were being a little goofy, so possible that's happening. It's also possible Otakura's in that just isn't going great. Alright, so we see LTW on Hazard, Amity on Sojourn, Otakur on Reaper, Mercy Gamer Girl on Brig, and Llama Heist on Ilari. Oh. We're seeing a Junker Queen, Freya, Sojourn, Ana, and Brig on the end.
Oh, this is fun. I think. Did the game just restart for you?
No.
Am I crazy? Oh, I guess not.
Not sure what's going on with your game, unfortunately. We see Freya on SEMO pops out with 2 kills right off the bat, killing Amity and Odakur. That's gonna force Purdue to drop back in this first fight. He's gonna take a quick reset and give SEMO that first cap. LTW does get pulled in and antied. Unfortunately can't get out due to that anti. And SEMO's gonna take this time to push up, is able to find a pick onto Llama Heist. But Amity's able to find 2 in the process, which makes it a little bit easier to push Not Rust back, and maybe even get that kill. There we go. We see Amity, Odakur, and Mercy Gamer Girl pulling forward, trying to take advantage of the fact that SEMO pushed a little bit too far forward there. Finding the pick onto Ari, maybe onto the Freya, but certainly getting that cap. Yeah, and they're able to get the Freya because Tortoise did not back out as far as what was necessary. Are you back with us, Viper?
We're working on it. We're
working on it?
currently
Alright,
watching
that's okay.
close through the wall, so...
Okay, that's alright. We see LTW get pulled back during his jump back, which is going to create a little bit of issues. We see Junker Queen ult comes through, is able to find 3 with the anti, only kills 1 immediately though. Dizzy finds another pick on Mercy Gamer Girl, Dill finds another pick onto Llama Heist. LTW is able to get the pick on that Sojourn on the way out, but unfortunately Purdue falls. That's going to give third cap to SEMO.
I was able to see that fall towards the end, but not much during the middle of the fight, unfortunately. But we are seeing like this classic combo from Purdue, so hopefully.
Right. LTW popped out with a big ball onto Not Rust there. Isn't able to find the pick. Nano comes through onto Not Rust, and that's able to force the pick onto Amity. Ilario comes out, solo ulting that Queen, and that's able to confirm that kill with the help of the wall. Brig ult comes through from Mercy Gamer Girl. We see a counter Brig ult from Dilfiz from SEMO. Anti comes through onto LTW, followed by a Sojourn ult from Dizzy, finding a pick onto Amity, and Dilfiz finds a pick onto Mercy Gamer Girl. Hazard ult comes through, is able to find both the Ana and the Brig, but unfortunately can't get the picks off because LTW's dropped too low. Both Odakur and LTW are just trying to stay alive on the middle point, only with those Lari heals. Doesn't work out for Odakur, and unfortunately doesn't work out for LTW either. Llama Heist is going to be forced to drop back, and unfortunately there's not much of a chance of a retouch for Purdue.
I will say, good fights so far but I do think LTW does struggle against Junker Queens, is what we've seen in the past. That Junker Queens are really hard for them.
Right. It's a hard matchup because Junker Queen is able to just kind of stick that knife into whatever dive tank, whether it be Hazard or Monkey or Doomfist, and leave it in there until LTW says, "Okay, I'm dropping too low. It's time for me to leave." And the Junker Queen just says, "No, you are not allowed to use your ability to get back to your team. You're coming with me." And it's hard to play around that because of how long the Queen can leave that knife in LTW. So I think we're gonna need. We do actually see Llama Heist moving on to Lifeweaver. I think that's gonna help a lot.
And we see Mercy Gamer Girl switch to Juno.
Yes.
And LTW is switching to Sigma.
It's kind of a complete team swap here with Odakur on to Cassie as well. Really going for more of a poke heavy comp here. Purdue moves towards the center, opting again for that center ground as they usually do on this map. We're gonna see these team fights take a lot slower of an angle as both teams are playing for poke. Odakur and Amity do drop quite low, and Odakur and Amity unfortunately get both picked out. Maybe I spoke too soon when I said it was going to be a little bit slower, but at least Purdue is going to be attempting to pull us a little bit slower. Llama Heist is getting forced out by the Junker Queen. That's going to force the pick.
We do see Odakur switch on to Junkrat here, so hopefully he can get some good bombs and some good traps to hopefully. We do see the Queen pushing in kind of far, so hopefully Purdue can kind of punish this.
Unfortunately, the team was with her, and she was able to find those picks that she needed to be able to get out safely. Anti comes through onto the Queen. At the same time, though, Dizzy is able to find a flank route onto Otakor. Amity forces the Sojourn out, losing some health in the process, and that causes her to die to the Junker Queen. The Life Grip saves LTW's life. Potentially, yeah. Sure. And they're gonna hold into a reset here while they wait for Amity to get back. You see the Junker Queen ult come through, attempts to be countered by the Life Weaver ult, which isn't going to get a lot of value because of that anti. Mercy Gamer Girl falls to the anti, and Amity finds a pick on a Dilfiz before falling to Dizzy Izzy. I think that the Junker Queen comp is too fast to be playing Sigma here. The amount of damage that you've got that Sigma can't block from the Junker Queen and from the Sojourn is ending up being a lot for LTW to try to live through. We do see Not Russ find a pick on Amity and Mercy Girl find a pick onto the enemy Sojourn at the same time. LTW's ult comes through as well as Nano. LTW drops quite low there, but is able to live. And that's gonna find the final pick onto the Junker Queen.
So hopefully we can get a good hold, but we do see that we SEMO are going in with 3 ults versus Purdue's 2.
LTW does get hooked in there, is able to get back for a little bit, but unfortunately then the Brig ult comes through to force the stun. That's going to get the pick onto LTW. Sojourn ults come through from both teams. Dizzy Izzy finding his pick onto Amity before Amity can find anything. Not Russ and Ari finding their picks as well. And with the whole ult fiasco, SEMO Ruby comes out on top in that map. I think that Purdue got a little bit scared there. The Junker Queen was finding a lot of value in the first point, and we kind of all just swapped onto a poke comp. And in my opinion, I think the Life Weaver from Llama Heist would have been able to mitigate a lot of the Junker Queen was doing against the Hazard. And so swapping onto the Sigma makes it a little bit more of a ultimate matchup. But
I would have liked to see either like Purdue switch to try a Junker Queen to go into this, just to try to combat the Junker Queen.
Yeah, I think that could have worked. I think I didn't realize this, but another one of the reasons that was such a struggle is because SEMO actually banned Kiriko in that round, and so
yeah,
Mercy Gamer Girl and Llama Heist I think both play a pretty good Kiriko, so. And that would have been a great response. So we may find that that having that pick back and then in the next maps are gonna be able to mitigate that Queen a lot better.
I'm trying to think of what bans we're gonna see on the sides. I think we're gonna see a Queen ban because that Queen was such a struggle for Purdue.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we're gonna see a map of King's Row because Purdue is always their strongest when they're on that King's Row. Well, I'm not sure what SEMO is really gonna ban. Maybe Ana? I don't really know. Or maybe a Hazard ban, we'll see, but
I think that the correct pick would be the Hazard ban. But the problem is they don't know what LTW can do on Hazard. They didn't really get a chance to see that in that last map. But if they were watching us cast Purdue White in previous matches to ready themselves for this map, they would know that banning LTW's Hazard was the right choice. However, either LTW's Hazard or Amity's Sojourn I think would be the best 2 bans. But Dizzy Izzy was doing very well on their Sojourn as well, so.
We are seeing a King's Row pick.
As you mentioned,
I know
you called it. Purdue loves the King's Row.
Hey, I think they always do their best when they're on Kings Row. Like, it's their map. I think I figured out what my issue was earlier. I had energy saver on the laptop, so hopefully we'll be better this time.
That's good. I now have the YouTube chat up, and I was right. My dad is watching and was very upset at our lack of understanding of American geography, and did give us a fun fact. Missouri was in the Union in the Civil War, except for one county which went to the south.
That
He then afterwards attempts to fact check himself, but can't find the facts for what he said. So maybe that's not true, but we'll we will assume that what he said was correct.
Oh, here's another like regional like fun question. What do you call the big like trucks on the like interstate? I call them a tractor trailer. Everybody tells me
trailer?
A tractor trailer.
That's got no. Do you know what a tractor looks like? That's not a tractor.
I'm aware what a tractor looks like. I've worked on farms.
Well, okay, sorry. You're right. You actually probably know what a tractor looks like much better than I do. But no, that's definitely not what they're called. It's called a semi truck.
Or then there's like also what do you call like the shoes you like wear to the gym? I call them sneakers.
Like tennis shoes versus sneakers? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
I've heard both. I don't actually know what a tennis shoe is versus what I don't know. I don't know what any of them are. I usually just wear shoes, and if they're not something that I'd call dress shoes or boots, I call them tennis shoes, or maybe sandals are in their own category too. But
I don't know. I like these like are like what do you call like soda?
It's definitely called soda. If you were to say pop, I'd have to kick you off the stream right now. My grandmother from Michigan calls it pop, and I'm confused every time she says it.
Everybody like in the Midwest I've met calls it like a pop.
Really? Ooh.
Yeah, a lot of people in the Midwest I've met call it a pop.
No, nobody at Purdue calls it pop.
Really?
I haven't heard anybody say pop at Purdue. We do see an Anna band from Purdue here. An interesting one. I kind of would have thought they would have went with the Junker Queen, but it seems like they are confident that having their Kiriko back is going to mitigate the Junker Queen enough that they don't even need to ban it. I hope that they're right about that.
There are some words in like the English language that British English will actually put an O in front of. Like it's a lot of like medical terms.
In like give me an example. What?
Like estrogen, we spell it with an E. They do OE and then spell the rest of the word.
Really?
SEMO bans Junkrat.
Oh, estrogen. This feels harder to pronounce.
No, it's still pronounced the same. It's just spelled different.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, one of my like professors was talking about like, yeah, if you go like to like a conference and like and he was like presenting at a conference like over I don't know, I think it was in England, and he spelt it with just the E, and they're like, and then one of the people came up was like, you spelled that like differently.
You spelled it wrong.
But yeah, it's interesting that there's such different things from.
Every region has their own.
Oh, is humor spelled with a U?
Humor.
Does humor have a? Is it like there's obviously the first U, but does it end like is it HUMOUR?
I think I've always spelled it MOR and not MOUR, but honestly, that's one of the few words that I feel like I wouldn't know until I type it out.
Yeah. Another like variation or like is apologize, recognize, and organize. Or like another like variations.
Interesting.
I love spelling variations, it's fun. Also the pronunciation of letters.
Once again, we are waiting around for Mercy Gamer Girl to click on the start button for the long way. I feel like it's become a little bit of a tradition.
We have to meet up in the square.
Of course.
This is more of a struggle. I'm curious to see what picks we get.
Gonna see LTW on our tried and true Hazard, Amity on Sojourn, Otaku on Reaper, Mercy Gamer Girl this time on Weeying, and Llama Heist on that Kiriko that we were talking about.
We do see a Zarya from Not Russ. Tortoise on Widow. Oh, we have Dizzy switch to Symmetra. We have a Kiriko and a Lifeweaver. This will be interesting to see.
It will be. My guess, typically how people play this map with Widow is that they, the Widow's going to attempt to find that first pick right out the door, and if they don't get the pick, they'll probably swap. So we'll see. See if that holds true.
I will say Purdue's doing really good at hiding from that Widow's pick.
I was gonna say I'm watching through the Tortoise POV right now, and they're finding nothing right now. They go to make a slightly more aggressive angle. We'll find some damage, but no picks. Not Russ is going to make their way towards the point. LTW is going to drop back a little bit just to try to bait the team in to get that wall. Not Russ is ready to run back out using that Lucio speed. And Tortoise is able to find the pick onto Otakur. They didn't end up swapping the Widow afterwards. Dizzy finds a follow-up pick on a Llama Heist, and Tortoise finds another 2 picks onto Amity and Mercy Gamer Girl, and that's going to win that fight for them. This Widow's going to have to be something to watch out for. She found 3 picks there quite easily.
I'm curious how many more picks. We do see a Monkey swap and Otakur switch to Genji. And Mercy Gamer Girl switch to Weeying, so I'm excited to see this.
Monkey swap is definitely in direct contradiction to that Widow.
Yeah.
W isn't able to find any picks, but does force the team back a little bit. Otakur finds that pick onto Ahri, but unfortunately the Zarya has had enough time to charge up grab and does pop that grab. Is able to use the grab to find a pick onto Otakur. At the same time though, Amity finds a counter pick on a Not Russ. Amity finds a second pick on a Tortoise.
We do see Purdue having Rush here, which in their advantage would be good.
We do see the Widow pop in for its sights. Attempting to find an angle here. Kiriko Rush comes out from Llama Heights there. Tortoise does get picked off by a combo attack of Otakur and L2W. And when he finds a second pick onto Ahri in that fight. Not Russ is able to follow back up to peel for his supports and find the pick onto Otakur. But has lost a lot of resources in the process, and Dilfiz falls to LTW, Amity finding a pick onto Dizzy, and then LTW body blocking for that last kill on Not Russ.
I will say, I find the Junkrat ban interesting from SEMO, just because I'm like, that would really charge up the Zarya.
Yeah, I'm not totally clear on why they did the Nerf Rep ban, because honestly, I don't know. It was something that Purdue only played for a little bit there. We see the Kiriko Rush come through from SEMO, and that's able to help Not Rust find 2 picks, one on a Llama Heist and one on a Amity. Mercy Gamer Girl falls 2 in the push, and so does Otakor. LTW is able to get out with their life. That's gonna force a reset, but so far it's been a good hold here.
Purdue coming in with 4 ults is really great.
It is really good.
They only have beat to counteract.
They do.
I think Blade.
Right. The hard thing is that Purdue's going to need to make sure they use one of their ults to try to get that beat out. Oh, the grab comes through as soon as that gets charged up, and that does find a kill on the LTW. Not Rust follows up onto Otakor and Amity as well, and it's going to force a full reset and probably a point cap. And Llama Heist gets picked on the way out. That's really unfortunate. That was... You're right. There was a lot of ults for Purdue there, and Not Rust just found a great grab as soon as that charged up. See the grab come through as well as the Wu Ying ult, and the beat comes in to counteract it. But with the Wu Ying stun, that's going to allow enough time for Otakor to find a pick with the blade. Unfortunately, does fall afterwards, but all in all, not a bad trade. LCW forced off the high ground by the Reaper. We see a Pulse come through from Dizzy as he is unable to find any picks. Kiriko Rush come through from the Kiriko. LTW popping Primal in order to find Dill. Llama Heist falling, but Ari and Not Rust falling to Amity and LTW. Otakor falls as well to Dizzy. I think it's just Dizzy on that Tracer, attempting to get out. Amity had pushed a little bit too far forward with the speed that they had from the Lucio. It's gonna cost their life. Grab comes through onto Purdue backline, and it caught a lot. And with the Reaper up coming in too, that's going to take out the entire Purdue backline. Amity did pop overclock in the process, attempting to recover, but died with it as well. The W may be getting out, just barely gets out. Reaper is a big issue for him though. Kiriko Rush comes through. The Pulse Bomb comes through as well from SEMO, neither of which found picks at the beginning. LCW does end up falling to it as well as Otakor. Wing out comes through from Mercy Gamer Girl, isn't able to find any stuns. Just kind of holds out that point for a little bit, and the last of Purdue follows to give SEMO the cap.
I do think Purdue can definitely push it and push it quick. They just have to really get it off the and get these picks early.
Yeah, you're right. This is the map that can steamroll very easily, and I definitely think that Purdue can take advantage of that, but they've got to find the early picks. The Zarya comp that SEMO is running, everything okay?
Yeah, we just I love Purdue internet.
All right, well, we can keep commentating for the time being. If there's something, are you gonna need an invite back in? I guess you can just join through me or something.
Yeah.
But, we get Viper back in here. I can comment on the team competitions. So we've got I believe the same team composition for Purdue, besides Mercy Gamer Girl swapping to a Juno instead of the Wu Ying. Was Otakor on Reaper last round? Remember?
No, he was not. He was on Cassidy.
Yes.
For a little bit. He did join as Ashe for a second, but I don't know if he actually left as Ashe at all.
You have a technical pause.
And he was playing Genji.
We see a Echo from Dizizi, and a Wu Ying from Dilfiz. The SEMO Ruby has decided to keep the Reaper. I think that's going to be tough for LTW, playing with the Hazard. I don't know. I think that that since SEMO's been countering with the Reaper, I think that going back to the Hazard isn't a bad idea here.
Yeah.
Heist is removed from the game. Oh. Player's game stop responding to mouse input. Like Llama Heist is probably going to be restarting their Overwatch tab too.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens.
That happened to you before?
Yeah, it's mainly mine was a second monitor issue in which mine was like on my second monitor and it wouldn't go off my second monitor. Like it would not let me open anything on my actual monitor, which I think it was a compatibility issue because my second monitor is a monitor from 2009. But yeah.
You have Llama Heist back. I do realize that I never changed the score from 0-0 to 0-1 last round, so forgive me. It is fixed now. Score is currently 0-1. Purdue White, SEMO Ruby, and Purdue is rearing for their attack on Kings Row after a full push from SEMO.
I am excited to see Purdue because I think that they're just gonna go really they're gonna go really aggressive with this die.
Yeah, I think that's what Purdue has to do here in order to get back some of that time that they lost. We're gonna see LTW immediately take position around that statue, and they've earned a lot of room here just from attempting that dive. And Amity's able to find a really early pick on a Dilfiz. That's gonna serve them well. LTW wastes no time with that, diving onto the Kiriko in the back. Bubble does get forced from the Zarya, and that's gonna force LTW back. Unfortunately, LTW does fall to Tortoise, but Amity's able to find a pick onto Ahri, and Llama Heist is able to find a pick on a Tortoise in the time being. So even though they don't have LTW, this is bringing up to be a pretty good hold. But Akura was able to force out the Echo, and now it's just Not Rust and the Lucio attempting to hold on, trying to get the Not Rust out. Rust is barely not dying there, and LTW really wants that kill. Is able to find a pick onto Dilfiz in the process, not the Zarya yet. And LTW still pushing it though. Really wants to get a little bit too greedy and dies, but hey, Purdue got the point cap. So that's what matters here.
That was a really quick point cap. I don't know whose was quicker.
I'd vote that Purdue's was quicker, but it was probably about the same. That really picked for me. It was a lot. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I would say Purdue is just really good at not feeding these Zarya bubbles and just forcing her to just waste her bubbles.
Right. Yeah, and that's exactly what they did there. And then Not Rust didn't have any bubbles to defend themselves, and they were able to punish her for it. Amity's able to find a pick following up onto Ahri. LTW keeps on pushing, trying to get that Lucio before they get out. Looks like the rest of the team is likely going to be able to get out, but you still want some more. LTW, I'm a little bit worried we haven't learned much from the last time we tried this, but that's okay. Purdue is winning that team fight, and they're rearing up for the next one. We do have Not Rust switching over onto the Junker Queen. It's gonna be a scary thing for LTW. Both Kiriko rushes coming out at the exact same time. Overclock comes through from the Sojourn. Echo ult comes through onto another Sojourn. We have another Overclock coming through from the Echo Sojourn. Finding some picks from either side. Dizizi does get popped out of the Echo ult. And that's going to be a cap for Purdue, most likely. Trying to follow up to find the pick onto Dizizi. Oh no, they do actually get a touch through from Dilfiz and Tortoise, but they do die immediately, so that's going to be a point cap for Purdue.
Purdue with 5 minutes on clock to push this.
It's a fantastic push so far. It's just like we were talking about earlier, how you can really get a steamroll going on this map. Odakur does push up a little bit too far with LTW and gets picked off in the process, but this is a good place to die early. Not Rush pushing that back line does end up finding the pick onto Llama Heist, but at the same time, Amity's able to find a counter pick on the enemy Dilphys. LTW really wants that Junker Queen, isn't able to find it before, but getting forced out. Not Rush finds the pick on Odakur. Purdue really just needs a hard reset here. Amity falls to Not Rush as well.
I will say, I don't know if like we caught this, but Odakur had a death blossom and he didn't die last time.
Hey, that's wonderful. We do see, speaking of Death Blossom, we see a Death Blossom from Tortoise who dies immediately. Odakur does die in the process. Soon ult and beat having been used. We see Junker Queen ult come through right after that Kiriko Suzu got used, finding a pick on the Amity. Pretty scrappy fight from both sides. Right now we have Odakur and LTW alive here. No sports with them. Odakur does attempt to pop Reaper Blossom and it's not enough and he dies in the process. This is a hard corner to push into. I think Purdue's going to need to make sure that they can utilize the high ground.
The last.
You see Primal come through as well as SEMO's rush. LTW attempting to find some picks with that. Odakur is able to find a pick on a Not Rust. It's going to be really helpful here if Purdue can stabilize. Odakur does fall to the enemy Kiriko and Reaper. Purdue opting to stabilize and just get some pressure from the high ground here. Kiriko rush comes through from Purdue. Llama Heist is able to find a pick on a Dilphys. Ari dies to Amity and Odakur and LTW. Junker Queen comes through but isn't able to find anything. Llama Heist and Amity both die to the backline but get traded out for Not Rust. Dizzy falls as well to LTW. Purdue is currently not pushing cards, but that's okay. LTW and Odakur are able to find that last pick on the Reaper. That's going to be a big stacker. But SEMO's definitely going to get one more touch in here. We see Overclock come through from Amity at the same time as Juno is getting popped, which is going to be a lot of damage for SEMO to deal with. That is able to find a pick onto Ari and Dizzy. Tortoise pops ults, is able to find Amity. Mercy Gamer Girl follows back up with a kill onto Tortoise. Odakur pops Reaper Blossom and finds two and doesn't die. And that's going to be a point cap for Purdue. These are some long fights.
I think Purdue is definitely like Samoa was their warm up and now they're in their groove.
100%.
Always coming out strong on this.
There's a reason that they pick King Throw every time.
Yeah. I love King's Row as a map. It's just so fun. There's so many like hiding spots and everything.
I think my favorite spot on the whole map is
the
little hotel region. Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah. We do see pretty much the same comps. Dilphys switches to a break. And we see Not Rust on that Junker.
Yeah, so they're really realizing that LTW on the Winston is a big deal, and they've got to flop to a Brig to be able to counter it. I feel like with the Junker Queen, Reaper, and Brig, it may be difficult to continue to force monkey here, but we're gonna see what LTW can do.
Defend objective A.
are able to find an early pick on the Amity here. Knife pulls in Juno. That's gonna find the pick on a Mercy Gamer Girl. Odakur falls to the Dizzy as well. Full reset forced for Purdue.
I do think Purdue can touch though, especially with.
Somebody's able to find a pick on the Ari, and Odakur is able to find a pick on the enemy Reaper. Everybody kind of just pushing around, not Russ there, and he's able to find a pick onto Amity in the process. Odakur finds the counter pick onto enemy Sojourn. LTW in the enemy spawn, chasing down the brick, and the Junker Queen gets finished off last, and that's gonna be a cap for Purdue. Overtime is most likely going to get forced onto this point, but it seems like SEMO is wanting to push in a little bit early before that they even get to that choke, which could prove problematic if they don't win that early fight. Odakur does get picked off by Junker Queen knife. We see LTW does have primal, and so is opting to be a little bit more aggressive. Junker Queen Gold comes through, is able to find a pick on both Llama Heist and Mercy Gamer Girl. Overclock comes in from Dizzy Zizzy, and LTW attempts to fight it off with a primal, but that's not going to be enough. In the overtime situations like that, it's
I think if
first team to farm their ults. Sorry, go ahead.
I do think Purdue can definitely hold this here. I just think they need something to again combat that Junker Queen.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Kiriko is a good start with it, and they've been able to make a lot better progress dealing with Junker Queen with that Kiriko than they did in the first map. But fortunately, the rest of the team is quite susceptible to it. TW hears our calls and opts to swap to Zarya.
I do like Zarya here. My only concern with it is I'm hoping we don't. I'm worried about the Reaper. I'm worried about the Reaper on the side of SEMO.
I don't mind Reaper into Zarya, just because the Zarya naturally has a much smaller hitbox, and so I don't think as many of those pellets typically land. But
yeah,
it is going to need to be something that LTW watches out for, especially with the speed that they have. They're going to use that speed to immediately take control of the tower. LTW and the rest of the Purdue team are just kind of playing very far back. They want to play safe here. They want to build up that Zarya charge, and Amity in the process finds a pick onto Dizzy. Tortoise finds counter pick right back onto Amity, and is able to find a second pick on a Mercy Gamer Girl. Llama Heist is forced into the fight and forced to use Suzu, and it's going to drop at the rest of the supports for Purdue. Fortunately, that's going to make a very early cap for SEMO, but we still have an entirely another fight because of the place that SEMO held.
Yeah.
Nobody swaps onto the Doomfist here. Odakur is able to find an early pick onto Tortoise. It's going to be a really helpful pick here. LTW doesn't want to waste any time. Pushes in, grabbing control of Hotel. And they're just going to kind of play out of these two rooms. Having a pincer attack onto SEMO. Odakur is able to find another pick on a Dilfiz. They attempt to finish off that Junker Queen, but aren't able to find the pick. Odakur falls to Dizzy. You see Junker Queen ult come through, is able to find several with that anti, and that could be a problem because we don't have Suzu for it. Llama Heist falls, and so does Amity, Mercy Gamer Girl, and LTW, and that is going to be the cap for SEMO.
Purdue fought really hard during that map, and it was a very close. The 10-second gap at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it just ended up coming down to the alt charge rates. In both of those overtime rounds, SEMO popped their alts the moment that they got them, and they got them just a fraction of a hair faster than Purdue did.
Yeah.
And when you just got players spamming their ults like that in those final fights, it's gonna be the fight winner. So we're going on to our third map in a little bit. Currently 0-2 Purdue white to SEMO Ruby. We'll see if they can turn it around. We do have a 5-minute bio break. So both teams are gonna take a second to rejuvenate and whatnot. And we will be back in 5 or so minutes. And we are back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, Purdue has picked Route 66 for the next map, and they've banned Queen. So we see kind of the both in King's Row and on Samoa that Junker Queen was a big issue for Purdue. So going to the third map, attempting to bring back the series, they're going to get rid of that Junker Queen and see if they can make the team work a little bit better without that.
I think they got this, especially because their biggest issue was that Junker Queen. It is so hard. I find Junker Queen one of the harder tanks, especially if there's a really good Junker Queen to just combat. Ooh, Reaper ban.
I can definitely see that. Odakur was putting in a lot of work on Reaper that last map.
I will say Route 66, I wouldn't mind seeing Odakur go back on junk just because of all of these like little hidey holes in Route 66.
Yeah, I agree. It's both on the first point and on the third point. Junkrat has a lot of really good places you can play from. Second point, yeah. I think it's a little bit too open to play it consistently, unless you're on defense and just kind of shooting at that choke that the attackers come in through. But Purdue Whites has got one last chance to bring this series back, and or at least start the momentum back towards their direction. So see if they can lock in and turn around the series. SEMO's been playing a very good game so far. Playing with that Dark Queen Rush comp. See what other tanks not Russ has in his arsenal.
Oh.
I think this is just for the the game starting goofiness.
Hello. And they say chivalry is dead.
Relax. Initiating match.
Now for the actual.
I'm expecting to see a dive comp from Purdue.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, Odakur on Bastion?
I like the Bastion Sojourn here. There's a lot of control that having this high ground that you have on defense gives you, and playing Bastion and Sojourn is a great way to use that high ground control. See, not Russ on the fall. Finishing pick is probably going to be a little strong against the comp that we're currently running. Tortoise is on a Freya, and Dizzy is on Tracer, and then we have a classic on a break backline. So we're really going for kind of a dive plus Freya on SEMO Ruby side. Odakur, unfortunately, a little bit far out with how much dive they've got on side of SEMO, and that's going to cost him his life there. And when he gets followed up by the Diseasy and not Russ. Now it's just the two supports and LTW attempting to get out safely. LTW is in a fairly safe spot here, so he can chill for a little bit. Not Russ, unfortunately, though, falls up onto Odakur and Mr. Gamer Girl and is going to find that pick. This ball is definitely going to be an issue that Purdue's going to have to figure out a way to deal with. seems like Not Russ has more than one trick up his sleeve.
Well, we do see Mercy Gamer Girl wanting to deal with the ball by going on Ana, so hopefully we can get some good sleeps and nades in and just take out that ball.
And Odokur is on the same thought process by switching over to that Cassidy for the Cassinades.
Ball does fall low.
They're certainly doing a lot of damage to the ball. I think that's not out of the ordinary to be able to get the pick on a ball. Amity does find the pick onto Freya, and LCW finds the pick onto Ari. We see ball mines get popped. In the process, Dizzy is able to find a pick onto Amity. LCW kind of alone in that fight, but is able to find a pick with the help of Llama onto Dizzy. Freya ult comes through, is able to find 3 onto Odokur, Llama Heist, and Mercy Gamer Girl. Llama Heist says they TP in to attempt to save them, but PW is just going to retreat and probably try to find a wall onto ball here.
I will say, having that ball and then the Tracer in your backline, it does separate your team a lot.
It does. They're doing a really good job of pushing in immediately when LTW pushes in, and so that's going to be a really big issue that they've got to deal with. LTW does pop Hazard ult to attempt to save that point. He's able to hold on to several of them, but isn't able to find the pick onto any. Llama Heist follows up and is able to find a pick onto Ari. Does pop Kiriko Rush in an attempt to hold on to the point, but that is not going to be enough. Nobody finds a pick on Dizzy at the beginning of the fight. Mines come through from the ball. Finding a pick on the Llama Heist and on the Odokur. Ari gets killed by the slam from the ball, but the ball does actually drop from Amity afterwards. Tortoise finds the second pick onto Odokur. AW is left just with one support in an attempt to hold on. You see Castle come through from Odokur, gets left immediately though. Nano comes through onto the Brig, who pops Rally as well, gets left in the process. Pick onto Odokur and onto Llama Heist. Hazard ult comes through, but immediately gets antied and Brig bashed. Mercy Gamer Girl attempts to hold on to the point. Overclock comes through, but that's not going to be enough to keep that point from capping.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
This is really tough. It feels like Not Russ played a very good Junker Queen that Purdue kind of had to shift the whole way that they played their comp to be able to figure out that. And then now that they've banned the Junker Queen,
They have to deal
switch
with
onto a very good ball for all intents and purposes.
I want to look through how often does Not Russ play ball?
Ready for battle.
I was kind of surprised. Is he a big ball player?
It seems like in this comp season, they have played ball.
The thing that I thought was interesting is that in this comp season they haven't actually played Junker Queen at all.
Yeah,
They've only played 17 minutes of ball in comp.
they played 55 hours of ball. And 69 hours of Genji. Wait, wow, because Genji's at top. Junker Queen, 69 hours of Junker Queen, 190 hours on Genji.
4, 3, 2, 1.
We do see pretty much the same team comps coming out.
Stop the payload.
Except for Otakurs on Widow. LTW rules is on Winston.
Otakor is able to use that Widow to find an early pick on a Tortoise. Sleep comes through onto Not Russ. Oh, that's might be enough damage to be able to kill him. It is. Amity and LTW finishing off the kill, but that was a full team effort. Oh, Otakor follows up with another pick on a Dill. Gonna give a lot of early lead to Purdue here. LTW continues to push in. Unfortunately, doesn't have any other dive DPS with him, so needs to be a little careful. Able to get out, but Not Russ come through with the slam at the same time as Tortoise follows up, and that's able to find the pick onto Otakor. Not Russ follows up with a pick onto Llama Heist. Amity is able to get the counter pick onto Dizzy, but Ari finds the pick onto Mercy Gamer Girl, and then LTW and Amity drop right afterwards. I think Otakor on Widow kind of caught the team by surprise. They're probably going to be playing a little bit more respectful to the Widow at this point, so it's going to be a little bit harder for Otakor to find those picks. LTW attempts to push into that high ground again, but gets forced out by the Brig and Freya dying in the process. Otakor and the rest of the team is able to find a pick on a Not Russ, surprisingly. Right now they're they tank game with no tanks, so definitely a winnable situation. They are getting LTW back same time as Not Russ gets back, so teams are at full capacity again. Otakor dies to the Onanade as well as the Not Rush push. These dives on Otakor have been very coordinated, and Otakor is gonna need to be playing accordingly. Llama Heist and LTW are able to find a pick on a Tortoise. Mines come through from Not Russ. Nana comes through onto the Brig, which is able to finish off that pick on a Llama Heist. LTW jumped into the middle of the mines, somehow not hitting any of them, but unfortunately can't go anywhere at that point and dies. Pulse Bomb comes onto Mercy Gamer Girl. The Otakor switch on to Freya. Your internet doing okay now, Viper?
Yeah. It's doing it's pretty
it's in and
well.
out.
Yeah.
Sleep comes through onto Not Russ. LTW gets nanoed in an attempt to find Ari. Is able to find Ari with the help of Amity. Brig ult does get popped, but after Ari dies. And LTW is left with just a Freya and an ulting Brig, which isn't a good recipe for success. Does have to pop Primal, but stays alive because of the Primal. The mines come through from Not Russ, who gets slept immediately. But both Llama Heist and Mercy Gamer Girl die to the Freya and Tracer respectively. Dilfiz finds a pick onto Otakor. Now it's just Amity and LTW attempting to hold on to this point a little bit longer. Both of them fall, and Mercy Gamer Girl is going to be the last to touch. Rush comes through from Llama Heist, but unfortunately that's not going to be enough for Purdue to hold on to this point. That is a 3-0 win for SEMO Ruby against Purdue White.
This was a well-fought game on Purdue's end and SEMO's end. I do, unfortunately, am kind of sad about missing a few of these pretty big plays due to internet issues, but no, I just think it was, they figured out the Drunken Queen, realized the Drunken Queen was one of their largest problems, took out the Drunken Queen and was not expecting to have to deal with that ball.
Yeah, absolutely. It's typically you see if you've got a tank player that's kind of carrying the game, they've got like that one tank that they're really good at, and if you can kick them off that one tank, you'll be in a good spot. And it seems like in the case of SEMO Ruby, they had two characters that they were very good at, and and so Purdue struggled to kind of figure out how to play around that new character. Just needed to be a little bit more flexible, but all right, it was a good time, and we'll see what is in store for Purdue White and for Purdue Sigma and all the other wonderful Purdue teams that we're casting in the next coming weeks, whether or not they'll be in the playoffs and whatnot. So tune in in the coming weeks to see some more matches, hopefully. And yeah, it's been great casting. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye.